Thanda, it's a great pleasure to have you. We're super excited that we're having you and you're going to share your experience with us about homeschooling. I've been following you for about, I think about 11, 12 months, and I'm excited about the work that you're doing. And I'm glad that you decided to come in and share your experience with us, because it's what almost all the parents are wanting to do these days, especially after lockdown, after COVID. They're super excited. So welcome, Thanda.
Thank you, Kgomotso. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. I highly appreciate the invite and the platform to share my experience with you.
Yeah, we are blessed. We are blessed to have you. So let's kick off. Thanda, you are a homeschool mom teacher. And how long have you been doing it?
Yes, I am a homeschooling mom. Yeah. I'm not a teacher by profession. I'm actually a civil engineer, but I'm very passionate about education and my kids' education. So we've been homeschooling, I would say, well, formally so for like a year, but I actually started homeschooling my kids before they started going to school, because I sent them off to school to do grade RR and grade R. And then when they were doing grade 1, when I say they, sorry, I'm referring to the twins. When they were doing grade 1, that's
Which
when
one? The first twins? The first set?
Yes, the first one's twins.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So we actually took them out of school last year after COVID. Officially, that's when we took them out, and then we started homeschooling them.
Okay. And why is that? No, it's very fascinating. I'm still trying to put answers together to say why parents they've decided to move children from the normal school to homeschooling, because it's a massive trend after lockdown. So we're glad that we talked to you about it. Why did you guys decide to get them out of school and homeschool them yourselves?
To be honest,
Yeah.
Well, there are a number of reasons, obviously, but to be honest, we've always wanted to homeschool them. But I think it was more of self-doubt and limited information about homeschooling, because at some point I didn't even know that it was legal in South Africa to homeschool.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe it was legal in other countries like America and, but we've always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But we just thought we were not ready to do it because I really thought that I had to quit my job in order to homeschool my kids.
Yeah.
So I've never pictured it happening with me working as a civil engineer and homeschooling 5 kids, because I have 5 currently, until COVID hit. And then when there was the lockdown, I think, I don't know, maybe to answer you, I think most parents, maybe they're like me, they never thought it was possible to work and homeschool. Or maybe for other parents, maybe it was out of a fear of, the coronavirus, and then they decided to maybe isolate with their kids at home. I don't know. Or maybe, I think we must also not rule out the financial implication that came with the lockdown. Most parents lost their jobs, and there were like a lot of incomes that were cut and that kind of stuff. So I think there really can be a number of reasons that can make parents to homeschool. But maybe for me, to answer you, for me, maybe for my family, like I said, we've always wanted to do it. So when there was this lockdown and we were forced to be at home with the kids and to homeschool them, everyone was forced because no one was sending their kids to school. So to me, it just opened another door that it is possible that I can homeschool them and still work full time. So I think that's the only gate that opened. But the passion of homeschooling them has always been there. But the reality of it happening while I still work as an engineer, I've never pictured that until last year.
Wow. That's so exciting. So you saying you are now working full-time as a civil engineer, and then you homeschooling the girls?
Yes.
Hey, how do you do that?
It last year was a lot of trial and error for us. We tried a number of things, and for our family, it was actually it wasn't a good timing because I just had a newborn, right? So I had 4 kids in the house, and then I had a newborn, and I also didn't have a nanny because of lockdown. My nanny left, and so it wasn't the best situation to start, but after success, after like being successful in those months, then I saw that if I can then have a nanny, for example, and then I can still be able to homeschool my kids and then leave them with the nanny to work and come back. So it has been a lot of trial and error to find the right schedule that works for both me and my kids and also the newborn. So yeah, but how we do it is we homeschool like early in the morning because I have 3 kids that have enrolled with Impact. I don't know if you saw that I've enrolled them with Impact is my curriculum provider for this year. So I have 3 kids, one in grade R and 2, my twins, they're in grade 2. So those ones, I make sure that in the morning before I leave, I have to sit down with them, homeschool them, and then leave for work. But I know it sounds very simple like that, and maybe sounds like impossible to do.
Well, maybe you make it look simple.
but I really, maybe, I don't know, hey. But I also want my kids to, maybe you actually raising something. Maybe that's how we're able to succeed because I make it simple for them. I also try to simplify things for them. Certain concepts can be taught not only by books, like using hands-on activities, for example. So I try to maximize on those things, like maybe other books other than the curriculum books, and make it fun for the kids, or maybe a game, or do something else, just to make it fun for them, to simplify it for them. But I think it can be done.
It can be done as long as you're doing it as a full-time civil engineer and full-time homeschool mom teacher, and you make it look this simple. So it's possible. It's possible. You touched on curriculum. You said you have a curriculum provider.
Yes.
Can you expand on that one? How does it look like? What are you guys looking at? The skills that you're teaching the girls, beautiful girls.
Okay. Yes, I am actually using Impact as my curriculum provider. So how it works is they actually give you the material that you need to teach your kids. So they give you both the learner aid and then the facilitator guide. So they will give you like a teacher's guide, that's the facilitator guide, and then the learner aid, what your learner will need, maybe like the workbooks or books that they need to read, that kind of stuff. So Impact is using CAPS, so that's the South African curriculum, is using that. But for people who are in South Africa, at least, you're not forced, as far as I know, to use CAPS. You can use other curriculum providers like Cambridge or that kind of stuff. So you can choose. There are a number of options out there for you to choose which one you want to use as your curriculum provider. And I think, I don't know, I'm also new at this, but I think you can always change. I can always change the curriculum. Like it's not like there's someone policing you that you have to stick to.
I think that's the beauty of it, eh?
That's the beauty of it, honestly. Like, that's the part that I like the most, because I think maybe because I'm an engineer, I'm used to like brainstorming things and solving problems. So when it comes to teaching my kids, I also love the flexibility of being able to take something from maybe even from the Cambridge curriculum and from the other curriculum and just teach my kids. So I think that's the beauty of homeschooling, because as much as we are using Impact, but we are still have a room to take other material and just introduce in there.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And do your children, when you homeschool them, do they go by grades, or how does it work? Are they grade 1, tomorrow next year grade 2, just like that, or you can just say, okay, grade one work, you do it in 6 months, then grade two, and next 6 months, the next year can you do that? How does it work? There's a lot of stories to say, no, if you want your child to complete school quickly and they're smart, homeschool them, and then they can finish almost the entire grade 12, 12 years in 7 years. Is it possible?
Yes, I've had.
You've had.
Yeah, I've had that, and I think it is possible because, Kgomotso, I think the beauty of homeschooling is you go with the child's pace. Yes, you have to register with excuse me. You have to register with the Department of Basic Education, but when it comes to the actual work, it depends on how fast your child is. I'll make an example.
Yeah.
My grade R learner, she's very ahead, because I've had time with her to teach her, like, from, I think this one for the past maybe 3 years. Do you understand? So the grade R material for her is easy. Hence, I am able to give her work from grade 1. She's not doing grade 1 yet, but I'm able to give her maths from grade 1. She can do addition, subtraction, that kind of stuff. So you can do that, but I know, I'm not sure, but I know with Impact, they give you a certain period to register your child, and then you also need to put in their marks, like each and every term, because if you happen to take them back to school, you can actually take that as your report card. So I guess as long as you can meet those dates, your child can, I believe, can do maybe grade R, and then if you're able to finish grade 1 as well, then you can register grade 1, and then you can put in those marks. I think you said other parents, you like, maybe is your child doing grade 1, or you're just teaching your child whatever you want. I think what I'm learning as well is that there are so many ways to homeschool. Yeah. Other people, they don't use a curriculum at all. They just follow a child's interest. If your child is interested in, I don't know, like in civil engineering, I don't know, I don't know how. But they follow a child's interest, and then they teach the child skills
based on their interest,
based on what they're interested in. So beautiful. It's not to say that for grade 1 you're supposed to do addition, subtraction, and this and that. They don't follow that. They just follow the child's interest, and then they move as fast as the child goes. But I've heard that if you want to register, maybe you want your kids to write the matric at the end of the year. Yeah. Some parents might be doing that, but subjects like maths and other subjects, like maybe, I don't know, like biology or whatever, they can teach their kids. They want to have like a curriculum for that, but everything else is free. So maybe let's say you purchase a curriculum for maths, but then anything other than that, it's open. It's up to what the child is interested in. Yeah. But what we are doing currently, we're using a curriculum so that, like I said, if I were to decide next year that I want to send my kids to school, I can actually just print out a report card and take them to school.
Okay, so I'm going to step back to the marks. So the marks that you enter onto your curriculum provider, the system, is it the more like the assessment, like they wrote a test on math, on addition, and then you enter those marks, or is it the end of term marks that you enter onto the system? How do you go about the marks? I will have a video on my channel. I'm just thinking. I was doing another the video outline. You see, when you have a conversation with the content creators, like, that would be a great content.
Yeah, because I was actually doing an outline about the assessment, but I was obviously like, based on my experience and what other moms are using.
Yeah,
it's up to you. Okay. Because it's up to you as a family what you decide to do. Other people don't like the idea of testing the child.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe for other families, you might not like that idea of testing the child. So you can see how you can put the assessment along the way. The child will do the assessment along the way. But what impact the one that I'm using, they have the workbooks like that the child can use every day. And then they also have like an assessment pack with the memorandum for you. So it's up to you if you don't want your child to sit down, because that maybe creates a lot of anxiety for a child, or for whatever reason that you as a parent feel you don't like that idea. You can actually give the child those assessments throughout the course of the term. And then they do those assessments, and then you can mark because you have the memorandum, and then you just record the marks on their system.
I know quite a lot of schools, they going with that one to say, you know what, we're not, especially in the primary school, we're not going to make children sit down and write exams because of anxiety and a whole lot of, we don't want you to look like you have to go study for it. It's something that we do. So we assess you as you go instead of a test at the end of topic or something like that. Yeah. Which I think is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I think it's actually beautiful. I don't know my volumes.
It's super clear.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. It's better. I think it's a good idea. I think it's beautiful. I like that actually. Because we don't want, this is how I feel, I don't want my kids to just learn for the sake of passing the test.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. If I'm teaching them certain methods in maths, it's not because I want them to pass the test, but I want them to understand it's to train them to learn that certain skill on how you can solve certain problems. And do you understand? So it's not just about the exam and they're just memorizing for the exam. So I think it's beautiful if you look at it like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's more of teaching the skills than get ready for the exam. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to move back to the main reason why you started, because I know quite a lot of people, they homeschool their children based on religion. And is there one main thing that you guys say, you know what, we want the girls to have this as a family, that kind of forced you, or that kind of was a deciding factor to say, the Xabas are now going to homeschool their children because we want the Xaba children to have this kind of
influence?
Yeah.
Number of yes, there can be a number of reasons. We do have number of reasons, maybe that I might not share, but influence, we wanted to be the primary influencers in their lives. So that's like the number one.
Yeah.
That's the number one reason. And then of course there are other reasons and there are other benefits that comes with homeschooling our kids. But I think I can say we just wanted to be the primary influencer in their lives.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Primary influencer. Now you touched on benefits. What are benefits of teaching your own children? I see your videos. I'm like, I wish I can start homeschooling my children tomorrow. It's beautiful, man. You're inspiring. For me, you are inspiring, and I'm planning
thank
to
you
homeschool.
So much.
I'm planning to homeschool my children in 2-3 years. Yeah.
Is it?
By then, my son will be 2-3 years. My son will be 11 because he's 8 now, and my daughter is 5. So yeah.
No, that's beautiful. I think the benefits.
Yeah.
There are a lot.
Wow.
But if I can just highlight, you get to spend time with your child. That's number one. We believe that God has given us these kids or the kids in our lives to parent, and I honestly believe that he has given us the resources that we need to be the parents in their lives. So homeschooling gives you that opportunity to spend time with your child. You get to understand your child. You get to understand your child's strengths and your child's weaknesses. As early as, even if your child is like a year or even less, you can get to understand what they like to do and how they behave in certain situations, and you get to influence certain behaviors, and also you can correct certain behaviors, because you can spot it on. You don't have to wait for someone, a teacher or whoever who stays with your child, to actually tell you that your child actually has this problem. And so you get to see things firsthand, basically. And there are a number of
There are a number of
benefits, but
benefits.
I think those are the ones that I think I cherish the most, that you spend time and it's convenient.
It's convenient.
Like I won't lie, it's very convenient. You know, my kids used to wake up in the morning to prepare for school. So if you were to think about it, if maybe you're waking your child at 5:30, for example, to get ready for school, because you have to leave the house maybe 6:30.
Yeah.
If you can do the same thing, but you're homeschooling them, you will see that there's so much time in your hands, and also your child gets a lot of or plenty of opportunity or time basically to play. So they get enough time to be kids, because they get a lot of time to play. They get a lot of time to play.
Which is very important.
Yeah.
Which is very important. I remember I had a conversation with one teacher, I think Liz Senior. She has a school about play, like children come and they play, just play. And she spoke about the benefits of play. Amazing. Amazing.
No, true.
And
very
often
true.
we don't want our children to play. We don't want our children to play. At schools, we like sit down, let's start reading, prepare, break, sit down. Like there's this rigorous routine that children follow the whole day. Not much play into it.
Yeah. You know, Kgomotso, play is very important. And I stay in Pretoria, right? So in Gauteng, generally, there's a lot of traffic. So if you were to take your kids to school in the morning and in the afternoon, which means you must leave the house very early in the morning and then you come back very late at night. So for some parents, even if you want your kids to play, when are they going to play? Because when they come back, they have homework. You also need to cook dinner and they must get ready for bedtime. Do you understand? So as a result, they don't get the chance to be kids, you know, and we are forced to, we have to rush. Everything is rushed because we don't have time, and we don't have time. If the child maybe, but anyways, we don't have time because of the system. So I think homeschooling, usually you're like breaking away from that system, and then you're taking the time that you're going to spend maybe on the road to school and coming back, and the time that the child was going to spend maybe at daycare, and then now they're spending at home. So
wow, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So the challenges, what have been the challenges for you? I know you at the beginning you said when you guys started homeschooling, doubting yourself, and so what has been like major challenges for you guys as a family?
I think the major challenge is information. There is not enough information about homeschooling. And this is not nice, because even if you're a parent, you want to take a decision to homeschool your child, but there isn't enough information out there. For example, I actually have a video that went live last week. I was just talking about something like that, you know, there was at some point in my life, there was a time where I was asking myself, what is the curriculum? Do I really need a curriculum? What are the choices or the options I have? I didn't even know what options I had at that time. So I think the biggest challenge is access to information about homeschooling, from parents who are doing it to even the departments. You know, I think they can still do more to educate their officials about homeschooling, so that when we approach them, we get the right answers, and also just to educate the society.
Wow. You know, it's interesting when you say access to information, because in this digital age, we often say information is on tip of our fingers, but with homeschooling, it's not. I don't know why they're hiding it. Why it's hiding. Wow. And
I think for South Africans, it's because it's not really a new idea, homeschooling, because it's in the Constitution. So it's been happening back from even 1996, because it's in the Constitution. But it's still new, especially to people of our color, like to the Black community. It's not something that is common, you know. And for me, maybe it can be difficult as a Black woman to point another fellow Black homeschooler. Do you understand? So I think maybe it's like a new concept, as much as it's not new, but it's still new in our society as South Africans, at least.
Wow. Okay, we'll get there, and we're excited that you are you are spearheading this transition from normal schools to homeschools. Then we're following you. Please don't stop sharing. Whatever happens, don't stop. Do not.
No, I won't.
Because we're learning from you. As you mentioned, that information is not there, but you're making it to be out there in public, and you have access to it. And
thank you. No, I won't stop.
Please. And when someone is listening to us having this conversation, you talking about the benefits of homeschooling, and they want to do that, what do they need to start? Like, what's the main basic things that they actually need to kick off homeschooling their children?
Okay. There's actually a lot that maybe it depends on the situation. If your child is already at school, or maybe your child is about to start school. Yeah. If your child is already at school, I think you, after sitting down as a family and deciding that, hey, we're doing this thing, educate yourself first as a homeschooler, as a parent now. I think you need to educate yourself. And I believe that is an ongoing process, because you can never say you know a lot. So just educate yourself. And depending on where you are, if you're in South Africa, you need to know the responsibilities that you'll be assuming when you're homeschooling your child. Because, like I said, it's in the constitution. So there is, how do I say this? There are legal consequences that can be there, you understand? But basically there are responsibilities that you need to fulfill as a homeschooler. So I think educate yourself on what are those responsibilities, and also communicate that with your family, with the child as well, and just explaining what's going to change or what's not going to change. And also, just before you take the curriculum, because I know maybe people say just take the curriculum. Before you purchase a curriculum, I would say just take time to try something yourself. Try, even if it's using the material that you already have from the previous grade or whatever, just try, do something. And while you are doing anything, even if it's for a few weeks with your child, right? In that process, try and research the right curriculum that you think will be right for your child. But just listen to maybe the people giving you the reviews for those curriculum, but don't rush to buying a curriculum, because curriculum can be very expensive. It can be thousands and thousands, can be like 10,000 and whatever. So you don't want to waste your money and then you regret. So rather just use whatever that you have in the meantime, and then you just research the right curriculum for your family. After that, I think in that process, like I was saying, in that period of you trying to see what can work for your family, what's important is to establish the time that you think will be best to homeschool your kids. Do you want to do it like early in the morning, or you want them to have breakfast and whatever, and then you see which block is convenient for you to homeschool them and that kind of stuff. But I think this is me talking to myself when I started. We mustn't be too hard on ourselves. Like, we don't try to perfect it. If the curriculum says you're supposed to do this lesson in one day and you are not able to do that at the beginning, don't kill yourself because you didn't do that. Yes, because maybe certain sections you will be slow, in other sections you'll be fast, because your child maybe understands that better, or you understand it better, so you can explain it better to your child. So it depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
But
I think we mustn't be too harsh on ourselves. Yeah.
No, I can tell that you're not too hard on yourself. The way you're just cruising this homeschooling.
No. We do have days that are very tough, but we don't dwell on that, because we don't focus on that. We just learn and move forward.
Now, anything that you'd like to leave the listeners with? I think we touched on all the pointers that you wanted to touch on. Anything that you'd like to leave your listeners with regarding homeschooling?
I think, well, homeschooling is a beautiful thing,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
But it can be very challenging as well for both the parent and the child. The parents, I think we mustn't be too harsh on ourselves, and we mustn't be too harsh on our kids, because maybe when you start homeschooling, maybe your kids will fall behind, right? And then you start panicking as a parent. You're like, what? You start regretting your decision to homeschool. But really, we need to give it time. Well, I believe in giving things time and giving things to God. Do you understand? So if that's my personal, that's what I live with. I give it time and then I give it to God. If it's challenging, give it time to work, to find a solution or whatever. If it's too difficult, give it to God, and then God will give you the guidance that you need in your journey.
Thanda, it's been an amazing chat, and we continue to learn from you. Thank you so much for sharing what you're doing with us. It's amazing, and we're glad that you are leading this process, and we're following, and I'm following too.
No, thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you so much for this opportunity, and also thank you for following me and for all the comments you leave and everything. Thank you so much.